Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.
What's going on today, guys? It's Invader, and I'm back with another video, and it looks like Call of Duty might actually be cooked because the Battlefield reveal trailer just came out, and my god, it looks pretty solid, right? Now, the beta is going to be coming out in about a couple of weeks, so we'll actually get our hands on the game very soon, actually sooner than I thought it was going to come out, but very excited about it. And the biggest thing I'm going to take away from the Battlefield reveal trailer was that it looks like a modern military game, right? It doesn't look like the game's trying to be like Fortnite or anything. Now, this could all change in a couple of months. They could decide to add a bunch of wacky ass skins and a bunch of collaborations, and they could ruin Battlefield by doing this. But you know, considering the backlash that Call of Duty has gotten recently, the backlash that Battlefield themselves got when they tried to add a bunch of wacky, dumbass skins into 2042, I'm hoping that they don't decide to do this, because that'll be like shooting themselves in the fucking foot, because it looks like they've finally gotten Battlefield right? There's no stupid ass operators in this game, which is a very good thing. I feel like the operators, it's just not a good look for Battlefield, which for the most part, man, when you play Battlefield, you're running around as a random, nameless soldier, right? Like, you're just a dude with a gun, right? And maybe like a rank or some shit, right? That's it. You're not some special-ass operator from Uzbekistan or Tajikistan, you know, saving people with some crazy-ass cancer, but the war happened, so you decide to join in on it. None of that stupid-ass bullshit. No backstories, none of that. It looks like it's straight cut to the point. Classic Battlefield, man. Like, I got a lot of Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3 vibes from the reveal. I'm getting those vibes anytime I've seen like pre-alpha gameplay, which really sucks, man. I signed up for the shit right before it happened. I didn't get a fucking invite. It really blows. I would have already played the game by now, but considering it was under NDA, I probably wouldn't have made a video about it. But regardless, man, Battlefield 6 looks good, and Call of Duty is fucking cooked, man. Like, for the past year and a half, man, Call of Duty has really lost its identity, and it does not look like a military shooter. It looks like it's, you know, a fucking wannabe Fortnite first-person shooter, and I'm not a fan of it, man. Like, the gritty tone of Call of Duty, it's been gone for quite a few years. I really want to say the last game that had a gritty tone was Modern Warfare 19, and in my opinion, I feel like Battlefield 6 has a tone closer to a game like Modern Warfare 19 than, you know, a game like Modern Warfare 3 even, or Black Ops 6. Like, it actually feels like a modern war game, right? And that's honestly all I've been asking for the past few years, and they've, quote unquote, Call of Duty has given us these types of games, but they actually never hit that vibe. And I know there's a lot of people that disliked Modern Warfare 19 for a lot of reasons. The map sucked. The game was loaded with campers. But I'll say this, man, one of the reasons why that game was so popular was partially because of its tone, man. And although, yeah, I'll say partially because of COVID and people really didn't have shit to do besides sit around at home and play with their nuts and play COD or Battlefield or Fortnite, Apex, whatever the fuck you want to say. But the game had a straight up tone, right? And it had that for a good couple of months. And yeah, there were some pretty wacky skins getting added into 19 towards the end of the life cycle. But like I'm saying, man, one of the reasons why that game was so well received was because it had a concrete tone. You knew what it was about. It was about modern warfare. Battlefield 6 looks like it's about modern warfare. This is huge, man. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be saying, oh my god, it looks so generic and all this shit, but it looks like they're going the right way. Now, once again, I'm going to wait until the beta comes out before I really start, like, trying to glaze the game or anything. But it looks really fucking good. The gunplay is solid. The vehicles, you know, they look fucking like they're fun to play as. And they were talking about how they overhauled the controls for vehicles and shit during the reveal, which I'm personally interested in. Anytime they've actually done something like this, doesn't really work out the best. But considering how Battlefield 2042 was, you'll probably get to customize your control scheme, so it's really not that big of a deal. The environments looked amazing. And like I said, the other big takeaway for me was that, like, granted, yeah, they were using a lot of buzzwords and a lot of marketing words, but when you looked at the footage, right, and like the devs were talking, it genuinely felt like they had passion for it, right? It wasn't like a Call of Duty Next reveal where like it feels like the devs are already checked out of the fucking developing the game as they're like revealing it, right? The game's not even out yet. The devs are already checked out. It feels like DICE and those people down there are really passionate about it. And I'm just hoping EA does not force them to fuck it up by adding dumbass wacky skins or trying to change the tone of the game or trying to go after the Fortnite money, which they did, tease the battle royale during the thing, which I'm very skeptical about that. But you know what? As long as it doesn't take away from the main core of Battlefield, which they said during the video, and this is what really has me excited, is they talked about the 3 core modes of Battlefield being Conquest, Rush, and Breakthrough. And the fact that they mentioned Rush as being a core mode has me very excited. The last time that was a truly like featured mode in Battlefield was, I want to say, like Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 was definitely very Rush heavy, but Battlefield 3 and 4 were the last times I really heard of Rush. I don't even remember if Battlefield 4 had a Rush. I feel like it did. But regardless, Battlefield 3 had a great Rush mode. I have great memories playing it back in the day on the Xbox 360. It was a lot of fun. And the fact that Rush is coming back, this is great news, man. It's one of the best modes Battlefield has to offer, and it's nice to see it back because we didn't have it in 2042, and I don't think we had it in Battlefield 5, right? So this is good. It looks really good, and like I said, man, like the title of the video says, Call of Duty is done. Because if they're going to continue to go after Fortnite money, continue to keep doing the shady, wacky shit, they're genuinely just going to lose interest, and people from Call of Duty are going to gain interest in playing a game like Battlefield that has a war tone and has the vibe that they're looking for, man. Like I said, one of the reasons why 19 was so popular and a lot of people are starting to get a lot of nostalgia for that game is because of its tone, man. Like, its campaign was fucking gritty as fuck, felt realistic as shit. The graphics, man, the game, the gunplay, everything. Like, Modern Warfare 19, even if you didn't like the game, one thing you have to say about it is it had a vibe and it had a theme and it was its own thing, and I hope Battlefield is gonna have its own vibe and theme, and it does what 19 does and just keeps its tone. No wacky shit. I feel like I'm just repeating myself throughout the video. Like, I say this every video, I'm just repeating myself, but I want this tone to stay the same. I don't want them to do what Call of Duty does. I don't want tac sprint, no operators, none of this dumb shit. I want the game to feel like a genuine war game. And once we get into the game, the one thing I'm really curious about, because we know the game's probably going to have some form of microtransactions. Like, it just is. This is the reality of modern gaming right now. But I wonder if it's going to have individual, like, soldier customizations. That way you could make your dude look however you want to, right? Like, I don't mind some stuff being colorful. Like, I don't mind if somebody has a fucking pink gun or whatever the fuck. Like, that's really whatever. I just don't want cell shaded. I don't want weird-ass anime shit. If somebody's running around with a fucking urban camo or a pink camo, I'm okay with that. Just no crazy stuff, man. Because I feel like the past, I don't know, like 10 years, man, I don't remember the last time I personally played a AAA military shooter that actually had the vibe of a AAA military shooter. It usually felt weird, right? Like, especially you go back the past 10 years, like, I know some of the futuristic Call of Duty games weren't necessarily meant to be, like, have it like a serious tone, right? A serious military tone. But it sucks that, we really haven't gotten one. It would have been nice if we would have gotten something like that over the past 10 years. And it just feels like everything right now that's coming out is a cash grab. And look, don't get me wrong. Battlefield 6 very well could be a cash grab. Once the game comes out, who knows? It could be like 2042 all over again, as these dipshits might have basic features in the game working like a goddamn scoreboard. Although, I will say this, I saw a scoreboard in the fucking alpha Battlefield Labs, like, leaked gameplay. So it's looking like none of that will be a problem. And it looks like they really want to redeem themselves and, make a decent game, because Battlefield 2042 was an absolute mess, and it was a game that had a lot of people excited, especially after all the trailers and shit. Like, people were hype as fuck for Battlefield 2042, and it's more or less the same way for Battlefield 6. I just hope they get it right this time, and it seems like they are going to do that. The other thing I want to add on is Vince Zampella, one of the founders of Infinity Ward and one of the guys that, basically created Call of Duty, created Infinity Ward. is leading the Battlefield 6 project, which has me unbelievably excited, man. Vince Zampella created probably my favorite multiplayer game of all time in Call of Duty 4. Obviously, he was the head of Respawn, Apex Legends, Titanfall, and shit like that. So this guy has an unbelievable track record when it comes to first-person multiplayer shooters, and I'm not going to lie, for those of you guys that know, if you haven't been around that long in the COD scene, or if you, I don't know, if you guys just don't keep up with news like that, or if you never kept up with it, Vince Zampella had to sue the fuck out of Activision because they weren't paying him when he made, and another guy, I forget the fucking other guy's name, but Vince Zampella sued the fuck out of Activision because they didn't pay him during Modern Warfare 2 and a bunch of other shit. They were overworking the fuck out of the Infinity Ward team, which is why the Infinity Ward team basically up and left, and that's how Respawn Entertainment was formed, was because, you know, Vince Zampella sued the fuck out of Activision for Call of Duty, and it was a huge fucking mess. And I imagine that guy seeing Call of Duty in the state it's in, and just, you know, looking back on, you know, suing the fuck out of the company. I'm pretty sure the guy won suing them, but I feel like deep down psychologically, this guy might want to take down Activision in a way and be like, look, y'all motherfuckers think you have it sweet, right? Just wait, Vince Zampella is going to come back and have Battlefield kill Call of Duty. It would be the funniest fucking thing ever. It would make for a great story. Somebody could make a fucking movie out of it or some shit. It's a very funny, ironic thing that could potentially happen. And I'm rooting for it, man, because, like I said, that dude Vince Zampella made two of my favorite games of all time in COD 4 and MW2. And look, the game's not out yet, but Battlefield 6, like I've said throughout this video, it is looking really fucking good, and Call of Duty might be cooked. Activision might be cooked. Look, their game's probably still going to sell copies, but I feel like, look, at a certain point, there's going to be so much negative noise around Call of Duty, and if Battlefield 6 lives up to what it's, you know, billed to be, this is going to be a rough year for COD, man. And look, I'm excited to play Battlefield, and I think the franchise has just flipped a page. And, you know, not to fucking borrow, you know, some dumbass's quote, but it looks like it's going to be great again. It looks like they're going back to their fucking roots. The reveal looked amazing, man. Vince Zampella, the fucking GOAT dog. And look, I think that's all the time I have for today's video. Once again, don't pre-order any of these fucking games. Don't be a dumbass. Subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. That's all the time I had for today's video. I'm out. Peace.